Hello guys, Ashley here, also with Adrian Were fan, and today I'm going to be deciding to finishing up my 2006 teenager rant. Today I just decided instead of doing just single videos, I have decided I'm going to talk about why I don't like Ashley, Ben, and Adrian in 2006 teenager. The first person I want to talk about is Ashley, and I'm going to play a little bit of a TikTok clip that this person made about Ashley, and she will be explaining some of the reasons why I don't like her.
I've seen several people saying that Ashley was one of their favorite characters out of the few likable characters. And I'm just like, have y'all forgotten something? First off, Ashley was one of the main people who was upset with Amy when she wanted to put John up for adoption.
Literally, she was mad when Amy was considering putting John up for adoption, to the fact that her and George told her that she's a bad mom for considering putting him up for adoption. Y'all have no idea how much that pissed me off. The fact that anyone will be called a bad mother because they're putting their kid up for adoption when they know that they can't take care of them makes me vividly upset. It's one thing to say like the mom was on drugs or anything like that, but Amy is literally a 15-year-old teenager. She don't think that emotionally that she can do this, and she's a bad mom for considering this option. I'm pissed off. On to the video.
Saying that she was going to help take care of the baby and that they could do it, only to turn around and not really help take care of John. She barely helped babysit John. Like, anytime Amy said that she needed a babysitter and her parents couldn't do it, she would never step up and say she could babysit John. First thing that came out her mouth was like, oh, he's your baby. You're the one who had a baby at 15. That was your decision. This picture is probably one of the few times that you actually see her interact with John. But what was the point of advocating her to keep a baby that everybody knew she wasn't ready for, only to not help out and then blame her for the family breaking up? Every chance that Ashley got, she told Amy that she was responsible for why their parents got divorced and their family would never be the same. Mind you, the reason why their parents got divorced was because George cheated on their mom. That's what this...
I'm going to talk about both those things she just said. I definitely agree. Ashley never helped Amy out with the baby, with John. I can only think of like 2 instances where she actually helped. In season 2, when she fed John and made him a bottle, when Amy was on the phone with Ricky, and when Ricky had to go see Adrian to go talk to her, and she decided to put John down for bed. That's it. Other than that, Ashley was always complaining about, well, you decided to have a kid at 15. If I decide to help you out, I'd be a teenage mother, enabler. It's just like, no, she didn't say enabler, she said moderator. It's just like, Ashley, I agree. I think everybody knew that Amy was not ready to not have a kid, and I don't think she was emotionally ready to take care of a kid. I low-key kind of feel like Amy was pressured into keeping John just a little bit. I don't know if I mentioned it when I made my season 1 review, but I definitely feel like Amy was a little bit pressured into keeping him, because I feel like this entire pregnancy, when I did mention it in my review, I don't feel like Amy ever had an opinion on her own. I feel like she was always pressured by Ann, by Ashley, by George to either give him up or to not give him up. Everyone is having an opinion about this major decision in her life, and I hate that Amy let them. I hated it. Like, again, I feel like she's just really passive as a character. I really feel like no one should have an opinion about the decision that her and Ricky are going to make as parents when it's their child. I can understand why. I think Anne knew she wasn't ready, which is why I think she kept telling her she should look into adoption. It's the way she kept pressuring Amy. Look into adoption, look into adoption, look into adoption. It's just like, it got ridiculous. It stopped feeling like support and more like pressure. Ben wants to have an opinion. Like, what the fuck? Ben's having more an opinion than fucking Ricky. Like, child. I definitely feel like Amy was kind of pressured into keeping John just a little bit, because she was not allowed to make any decisions on her own. On to the next situation. Ashley trying to blame Amy for why their parents got divorced. Again, Ashley is delusional. The reason why her parents got divorced, we're going to keep it short and sweet, is because George decided to step out and have an affair with Adrian's mother. That is the only reason why their parents got divorced. Yes, Amy being pregnant at the same time that all that was happening made things more chaotic, but it's not her fault that her parents got a divorce. Ashley is just delusional, and she's just bitter. That's the only reason why she said that, to make Amy upset. Literally. She only say those things to make Amy vividly upset, to get her way.
To the family. Now, Amy getting pregnant didn't help, because they both happened around the same time, but still, George was the one that stepped out of that family and caused a divorce. But for whatever reason, Ashley maintained a grudge that Amy was the reason why the family broke up. Then on top of that, any chance that Ashley could get, she would tell Amy that she ruined her life by having a child at 15. Amy tried to do the right thing. She initially wanted to give the baby up for adoption. However, her amongst her dad, Ray, Ben, all of them were so against her putting the baby up for adoption and said they would help out. And nobody stepped up and helped her out. And then when Amy finally gets a chance to spend...
Literally, I don't remember actually saying that. I remember her saying that she ruined her life. Like, so many other people would say to Amy that she ruined her life by having a kid. I remember Ashley being like, you ruined your life by having a kid. I remember Ashley telling her that she's not the only pregnant 15-year-old. I don't care about those other pregnant 15-year-old girls. I care about me and what I'm going through. I definitely feel like, and I made a video about this, I don't think Amy had enough emotional support during her pregnancy. I think everyone was just way too hard on her. I feel like no one truly ever listened to what the fuck she had to say or how she was feeling. Like this girl just said, what's her name? GM. I'm going to give a shout out to GM. I feel like everyone wants to have an opinion about this major decision that's happening in her and Ricky's life. And instead of Amy putting her foot down and letting them know that they have no right to make a decision or have any opinions, she decides to go along with it and do what everyone else is suggesting to make them happy. That really got on my nerves in season 1. Like, it really, truly did. On to the next situation with Ashley.
In the summer in New York, and Ricky ends up staying at the house to help with John.
Oh, another thing to mention. She also has a video, too, about Ben that I'm going to play. And I'm gonna just, give up my grievances about why I don't like Ben. But after she gets us talking about Ashley, I'm gonna give my reasons why I don't like Ashley. Just a few examples because I don't like Ashley. I feel like I've mentioned it so many times in other videos that I feel like y'all gonna hear me say what I've already said. But again, I don't take any pleasure away by bashing Ashley Jerkins because I hate Ashley.
Stop developing feelings for Ricky and kisses him. Have y'all forgotten that?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Ricky was wrong for kissing her, but she initiated the kiss. So not only are you constantly reminding your sister that she ruined her life for keeping a baby that you influenced her to keep, and you're blaming her for breaking up the family, you go after the father of her child, and it was like she swore she was in love with him just because they had kind of built some sort of connection while Amy was away. Then had the audacity to sneak into his apartment and try to sleep with him. This right here just showed how she could care less about Amy and John. Then after Ricky turned her down and told her they couldn't do that, she forever felt some kind of way about it. Even when Ricky and Amy got into a relationship, you could tell she was jealous by some of the comments she would make, and she was just waiting for Amy and Ricky to break up. Even down to when they got engaged, she wasn't excited. Because for whatever delusional reason, she thought it was going to be her. And I really hated the whole storyline of her falling in love with Ricky because it just gave odd. Like, why would you want to be with your older sister's baby daddy? And then after she gets over Ricky,
I don't care about this, about her moving away and all that other crap. I'm glad she left. Hallelujah. I'm glad that Ashley left and she never came back. Fuck her. But everything else she's saying is right. The whole Ricky storyline, I made a whole video about that. The whole Ricky storyline pissed me off to no end because I personally just feel like Ashley initiated everything and yet everyone constantly trying to blame Ricky, George, and she's falling in love with the wrong guy. Everybody wanted to have an opinion about the situation, but yet no one pointed the finger at Ashley for initiating the kiss, getting jealous about him seeing other girls, trying to have sex with him. Nothing. It was on him and Amy were in a relationship and working on having a human relationship. Ashley didn't care about any of that. She was forever bitter, held a grudge against Amy because Ricky didn't like her back. Like, how was that Amy's fault that Ricky didn't like you back? Like, Ashley was the op. She should have mentioned that in here. Ashley never mind her business, even if God paid her to. She knew everything before anyone told her. The reason, and I always mention this, season 2, the episode with the mother and daughter dance, the only reason people knew about Amy and Ricky kissing was because Ashley said something. No one would have known about it if Ashley didn't say anything. Amy don't owe Ben anything by telling him that her and Ricky kissed. The only person that owes anyone any explanation is Ricky. If Ricky wants to have a relationship with Adrian, he should tell Adrian straight up that he kissed Amy. But Adrian makes it no better by being like, I'm going to get him back by having sex with Ben. It just proves why Adrian and Ricky were very equally toxic. Because the fact that Ricky would think the fact that he's that comfortable kissing Amy while being in a relationship just shows you that he is not somebody that you can trust. That you can trust. And the fact that Adrian still in a relationship with Ricky is going to full blown cheat on him with the guy that he works with without giving two fucks about it because she don't know the whole story just shows that her and Ricky are equally toxic and they should not be in a relationship. All that happens because of Ashley. Ashley saw Ricky and Amy kiss. She told George. George told Ruben. Ruben told Adrian. And then Grace told Adrian. And that's how it all came about. Y'all won't even believe how much shit that people tell Ashley and she never minds her business. People only knew that Adrian was pregnant because of Ashley. How about that? Adrian's supposed to be her bitch, right? But yet she's telling everyone that Adrian is pregnant. Like, Ashley couldn't mind her business if God paid her to. Like, I don't like her. I didn't like her in season 1. I didn't like her the whole show. Like, at first when I watched the show, I thought I was being a little bit too hard on her character. But when I go back and watch, I cannot stand her. She thinks she knows everything. She thinks she's the smartest person in the room when she's not. George plays favorites for her when it comes to Ashley and Amy. He never holds Ashley accountable for anything. Ashley can get away with murder compared to Amy. The fact that he got more mad about Amy being on birth control than Ashley when Amy's the one who had a kid and had an unplanned pregnancy at 15 is crazy to me. The fact that he would sit there and full-blown slut-shame his daughter, Amy, for wearing certain outfits and things like that, telling her if you keep dressing like that, you're going to end up pregnant again. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy how much Ashley can get away with compared to Amy. When in season 1 where Amy said she would have been better off with Ricky, he gave her so much hell for even saying anything like that. But when Ashley sits there and tells him that she has feelings for Ricky and he's like, I see y'all connecting, I see the way y'all look at each other, he gives her less hell for it. He blames Ricky for trying to initiate feelings or whatever the fuck, trying to act like Ricky is trying to make her do something that she don't want to do. Like, I don't like how to, like, why the fuck the show try to act like Ricky is like this rapist or something? I don't fucks with it. But that to me just proves how much Ashley can get away with. It's like she can do whatever the fuck she wants and no one bats an eye. I don't like Ashley. I've never liked her and I never will. She never knows what the fuck she's talking about. She's not the smart person in the room. She never was. She never will be. And I cannot stand her. She's annoying and I don't like her. I feel like her bitterness towards Amy is the same reason why Adrian don't like her. Y'all don't like Amy because she had a baby at 15 and y'all are mad that out of all the girls Ricky could have been with, he chose to be with her. Even though y'all only like Ricky because he was a test subject to some of y'all. Y'all wanted to use Ricky as an experiment. Adrian was mad that she couldn't change him. Grace was the only person who I remember not being that mad about not being able to change him. And Ashley was mad too that she couldn't change him. You can't be with someone and be like, oh, I'm going to change them for the better. People have to become better for their own reason. When Amy and Ricky got together, she let him know right off the bat that if you're going to be with me, there's going to be no sticking around with other bitches. There ain't going to be no more the up and down, the toxicity that you have with Adrian. If you want to be with me, if you want to have a relationship, you need to show me that you can do that. It's one thing to say that you can see that you cannot hook up with random girls. It's another thing to show me that. And Amy did the right thing by getting his ass tested because she knew that he's been flipping flopping all over the place. Amy handled the situation a lot better than all the other girls, in my opinion. I feel like for Grace to be interested in Ricky after not the first time, because honestly I liked her and Ricky's slow burn. I thought they were really cute. To me, I lost respect for Grace when Ricky cheated on her the entire time they were together, and Jack told her, and she called and found out that that Ricky was cheating on her, and that she instantly took him back because she thought she could change him. Like, no. I think if Grace was smarter, she would have known that a guy like Ricky is very much heavily traumatized and he needs intense therapy. He can't be in a relationship because he don't know what that is. He don't know what a relationship is. The reason why he had sex with Adrian so much, and I'll mention this too when I get to him and Amy. I think him and Amy are the best characters in the show, but Ricky is easily the best character. But the reason why he had sex with Adrian is because of childhood trauma. He needed to prove himself that he could be a man, and since Adrian was free and available, and her services were free and available, Ricky decided to have sex. He wanted to have sex with girls to prove his masculinity, because that masculinity was taken away from him when he was a kid. So for Grace to think and Ashley to think that they can change him, even though I feel like by like season 3 Ricky was a different person, he was just still doing things his way. He's not committed to anybody, so he's having fun. He's having fun. For Ashley to think that once they get together, or if they get together, he's gonna stop doing what he's doing. Like, no. That can't happen if you don't let him know your boundaries. Which is why the relationship with Amy worked so well compared to the other ones, because all they saw was just an attractive guy who was broken, and they thought that whatever love or whatever support they could give to him would change him. And it's like, no, that's not. Y'all not changing him. Y'all not letting him know that it's either this or the motherfucking highway. It's not. Like, y'all not letting him know about any of that shit. Which is why he ran game on y'all, in my opinion. Not saying that, me personally, I think Adrian deserved it. Adrian was toxic and she was a mess. But Grace, I don't think Grace deserved to get cheated on, in my opinion. When she went back out with him again, it was like, wow, Grace, like, you're really stupid, in my opinion. But I feel like Grace and Ricky together, I feel like that was cut so short. But I feel like when they were back out again the second time, I really feel like Grace is an idiot for thinking that he wouldn't do what he was doing before, in my opinion. And I always thought Adrian was dumb. Adrian was an idiot. She was so dumb. So dumb. So dumb to the point where it's just like, I made a video about how dumb she was that we ain't about to get into right now. But let's move on to Ben. I'm done talking about Ashley. GDM made a lot of good points about Ashley. I can't stand her. Let's get on to Ben with the bitch. I'm going to play the video that she made about Ben, and then I'm going to give my predictions about Ben.
So I want to go on a rant about the Secret Life. So I just finished watching the Secret Life character of the show. And for me, it's been one.
Okay.
So I just finished watching the Secret Life of the American Teenagers for the first time in its entirety. Because when it first came out, I was pretty young. I only watched like a couple of episodes and I lost interest. But literally every word, every line includes FBA. Like, take a shot every time they say that, you're going to be episode. But now I'm getting into rewatching old TV dramas, teen dramas before ABC Family became freeform. So I said, let me go and watch this. Because I just wondered what happened with Amy Jernigan. Not only is the dialogue just terrible, it's poorly written dialogue, and extremely cringy. You have to remind yourself the entire time that you're watching the show that these are like teenagers. They start out at 15, and these motherfuckers was living like they were full grown adults. And even though it was cringy and it's a pretty bad TV show, for some reason you just can't stop watching it. You want to see what's going to happen next. This show has some of the most insufferable characters to hit the TV screen. I was trying to sit here and think, who's the worst character of the show? And for me, it's been Boy the Bitch. Because it became to a point where I almost just stopped watching for a little minute because his character became so intolerable. I hated every time he came on the screen. Because every time he came on the screen, it was just a sense of entitlement as it related to his relationships with other characters, specifically Amy. And his sense of entitlement and his disregard for other people's boundaries only got worse as the season progressed. And honestly, from season 1, you can tell that he had a sense of entitlement because he grew.
I definitely feel like, me personally, I think the worst character in the show to me is Adrian. I could not stand Adrian. I'll definitely say a close second is definitely Ben. I definitely feel like Ben got worse and worse as the show went on. Me personally, I started disliking Ben in season 2. In season 1, he was okay, even though he was very entitled, like being like, the entitlement for me came in when he proposed to Amy and was like, oh, I'm gonna be the father to the baby. You could just cut Ricky out the picture, like pretty much getting mad at his dad for not accepting things how they are, for not wanting to marry Amy at 15. You're gonna marry this girl to bail her out? Really, Ben? Really? You're gonna be with a girl who's hurt by another guy and you're gonna stick around? Really, Ben? Really? Not saying he's a bad guy for sticking around, but me personally, I just never saw or heard of anything like that. Why would you stick around when it's not your baby and you think you can have opinions about it? Like, I just never heard of no shit like that. Nothing. I think to me that is delusional. I would never stay with anybody who has a kid. Period, point blank. Because nothing comes with it besides drama, and I'm not going to be dragged into it. I'm just not. I feel like as the season went on and on, he definitely had really bad entitlement. Took no accountability for his bad decisions. Relied on his dad way too much to bail him out of bad decisions. Leo was just a horrible parent in general. I feel like he gave Ben way too much. Whenever Ben wanted something, he jumped and said how high. Ben was not humble at all. Ben was entitled. Everything about Ben has got ruthless as the show went on. Like, he was never a good guy. He had really bad boundary issues. He didn't respect anyone's boundaries, anyone's opinions, anybody's decisions. He thought he was right about everything. He thought getting married would solve everything. The fact that him and Adrian are getting married and they're having a whole ass condo and thinking that raising a kid at 17 is going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy, just shows the entitlement and just shows the immaturity on both parts. The reason why Adrian and Ben didn't take being pregnant seriously at 17 was because everyone was giving up everything. Her parents was okay with it. Ben's dad is buying them a condo. He's paying for their wedding. They just living it up. Like, I hate Ben with every soul in my body. I think he's also a stalker. Like, he was Joe Goldberg before Joe Goldberg. He was a stalker. He constantly was obsessed with Amy. Like, I absolutely hate Ben. We can't spend all day talking about every single thing that he's done, but just know that deep down, I hate him. Like, season 1 Ben will always be my favorite because, like, even though he was creepy and did not understand his boundaries, I respect him for being there for Amy and trying to be a shoulder for her to lean on. But again, you gotta question his methods. The fact that he wants to marry this girl, wants to be with her, knowing that she's pregnant by somebody else, trying to be a stepdaddy and all this other type of stuff, it's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous and just so dumb that I don't even think he knows it's dumb. Like, it's just wow. Like, it's so crazy that Ben will put himself in a position to be a stepdad at 15. Think about that. On to her video though, and I want to see if I can find a video for Adrian.
Rich, his dad literally gives him everything. He crossed boundaries because he thought that he had a say-so in what would happen with the baby that wasn't his. Like, why are you so upset and trying to influence him not to give the baby up for adoption? But it has
nothing to do with you.
That was the first thing that should have got.
Yes, when he, like, that to me, when he thought he could have an opinion on Amy's pregnancy and what she's going to do with her unborn child, that to me took me out of a loop. Like, what? You're not the father of this child. You didn't help make this child. You should not have an opinion on whether or not I'm going to give it up for adoption or if I'm going to keep it. Like, Ben, all you need to do is just be a boyfriend and talk to her. You don't need to be involved in no decision making at fucking all. To the point where Ricky was out of this pregnancy because of Ben. Ricky barely was involved in this pregnancy in season 1. I made a video about it. Ben was excified. Ricky was excified from this pregnancy because the writers definitely wanted the audience. Because the writers definitely wanted to make Ben the stepdaddy to John, that they just said fuck you to Ricky, like trying to keep him out of the pregnancy as much as they can. It was just so annoying.
Really set things in motion for my dislike of him when he decided to have revenge STX with Adrian because they thought that Amy and Ricky had slept together when they only had kissed. And then Adrian got pregnant. He married Adrian. They lost the baby. He only got married for the baby. And because things didn't work out between him and Adrian and they didn't have the baby, he felt like he belonged with Amy. Like, he felt entitled to be with Amy. And he didn't like that Amy had moved on with Ricky because what really pushed them together was the fact that he slept with Adrian and neither Amy nor Ricky wanted anything to do with the two. So they decided to explore being in a relationship, getting to know each other better since they already had a child together. And the whole time, he just feels together, they got engaged. He started completely destroying his life, like sleeping with his best friend's ex-girlfriend, messing around with this girl who went to some kind of private school, who was just such a bad influence, like just doing any and everything because he felt like he had to have a. And the whole time she's engaged, he's constantly coming up and telling her that, you know, you don't love Ricky, you shouldn't get married, don't get married. Mind you, he married Adrian anyway, even when he knew him and Adrian had nothing in common, they had no type of attraction. The only reason why they slept together was to get back at Amy and Ricky. So he's allowed to move on and get married to the mother of his child for the sake of the baby, but Ricky and Amy weren't allowed to pursue a relationship for the sake of their child that already exists. There's so much more I can say about this man, but I just had to get this right out because I had nobody to talk to about it. So
everything that she just said, she put it out my mouth. I cannot stand Ben. He was very stalkerish. Again, when I went back, when I made my season 4 and 5 review, I literally had to go back because I didn't remember Ben sleeping with Alice. I didn't remember Adrian and Henry, or Harry, what the fuck his name was. I didn't remember the two together. The fact that Ben was stood that low and sleep with Alice, not caring about his best friend, is crazy to me. Ben was scum. Like, I agree with her. The fact that you're trying to tell Amy that she can't get married, and him just being a full-blown stalker in season 5, stalking her on her plane, tracking down her plane flight, following her to that school, even though he don't even play music, a music instrument. The fact that he's telling his dad that he should move on the top of the bill or the top of the apartment, and Amy and Ricky should sleep on the bottom of the apartment. They'll all be together, going to school, going to work. It's just so weird and so very stalkerish. And the fact that he stole her rings and kept them just to get her to come over to his house to get them. And then he told her that if she's not happy with Ricky, she shouldn't get married. And, like, bro, Ben was just a full-blown stalker. The fact that he thought that him and Amy were meant for each other because that's the first girl he ever loved is just so weird and very creepy to me. Like, the fact that Adrian and Ben get mad about Ricky and Amy wanting to pursue a relationship, even though they both decided to get married, basically just because they were having a kid, is very hypocritical, and y'all should not have an opinion on whatever the fuck me and Amy are going to do, because we're happy together, and we're getting to know each other, which is something that y'all didn't do. Ben and Adrian drive me nuts. I cannot stand Ben. I'm not going to spend all day talking about him because she literally just took everything out of my mouth about everything I've been feeling about Ben for years. The more and more I go back and watch the show, the more and more he gets on my nerves. Literally, he gets on my motherfucking nerves. And another thing too about Ben, he loses himself in females. Whenever he dates someone, he becomes fully attached to them that he forgets who the fuck he is as a person. It's creepy, it's not healthy, and I don't like it. And they make it seem like it's very, very romantic. No, it's very, very weird and very, very red flag-ish. Moving on to Adrian. Let me see if anyone got any rants about Adrian. Okay.
it's been a while since I did this show. Now, if you've been following me since the beginning, since I did on the TV, let me just point out by saying Francia is a great actress and beautiful. But baby Adrian was already giving out better baby mama vibes before she became a baby mama. Adrian swore she was different. No, bitch, you in the same boat. She stayed looking goofy as fuck for Ricky. First of all, I wish I would fight for Ricky this time. Ricky definitely made it clear that all he wants to do was fuck. Like she used to get beat up tight, trying to force him into a relationship. Like, dang, how much clearer does he need to be? It's for everything.
Exactly, he don't want you. I don't see enough Adrian rants, but she definitely just put everything out of my mouth. The fact that Adrian, she's another great example of another male-centered character. She points the finger at male characters when she should be blaming herself for the bad decisions that she makes. I understand that Adrian has daddy issues and emotional detachment issues because she's been abandoned in her entire life. Her dad abandoned her. Her mom had to work overseas just to make money. She was raised by her grandparents and other people who had to raise her because her mom had to make money. I get it. But that to me should not be an excuse for how you treat people, how you talk to people, and that's no excuse for being toxic. The same goes for Ricky. Just because Ricky endured some heavy trauma in his life does not mean that gives him the right to treat females the way he does. There's no excuse for it. Nothing. No excuse for any of it. But unlike Ricky, he never, ever, ever tried to put the finger at anyone else. He knew he had issues. He knew he had problems because he's in therapy. Adrian desperately needed therapy. She had codependency problems. She attaches herself onto anyone who gives her the ounce of attention. The fact that she desperately tried to get Ricky to fall in love with her and desperately tried to get him to think that they have this deep connection, emotional connection, when it's nothing more but fucking in a surface level relationship, just shows how really delusional that she is. She is hella delusional. I don't care if her parents weren't involved as much as her life. That gives her no reason to do the things that she does. The fact that she tried to make Ricky a deadbeat father, the fact that she tried to encourage him to be a deadbeat dad, and I may be about that. She tried to deliberately make him choose between being there for his kid or being in a relationship with her. The fact that she told him that if he's gonna be involved with Amy the baby, that they can't be together. But yet, every single night she's taking dips in the dude. Even though Ricky kept telling her that he don't want anything serious, it's like she just couldn't hear him. And then she had revenge sex with Ben just to get back at him when they were both in a relationship. But yet she wants to blame Ricky for being in a toxic relationship, or try to always blame him for making bad decisions, even though she made bad decisions based on her own actions. I don't like Adrian. I don't know why people try to make excuses for her and all this other shit. I don't get it. Adrian is not somebody that should be staying. If you like her, that's your problem. If you like her, that's fine. I like characters that other people don't like either. Like Blair. People don't like Blair. She's mean. She's a mean girl. I love Blair. Blair is real. Adrian's not. Adrian likes to blame other people for her actions, for her mistakes, and all this and all that, when she desperately needed therapy. She had really bad daddy issues. She had emotional attachment issues. And honestly, y'all gonna hate me for saying it, but I don't give a fuck. Adrian was a slut. She literally would have sex with anyone just to get back at anybody. I cannot respect anyone. I don't respect a woman who has that bad of self. She has really bad self-worth issues. She constantly would cheat on Ricky with other guys in the relationship, and then try to make him like a bad guy when she's doing the exact same thing that he's doing. They really said in season 2, Ricky said he cheated on her because she cheated on him during the summer. She did. The only she cheated on Ricky during the summer when they supposed to be this committed relationship, right? She cheated on him. Ricky only cheated on her, even though he's not right or justified. The only reason why Ricky found out that she cheated was because the guy that Adrian cheated on him with told asked Ricky if him and Adrian still together. He said, yeah. He said, well, y'all weren't together during the summer, were y'all? He found out Adrian cheated. She cheated on Ricky with that guy, and he cheated on his girlfriend with Adrian. So Ricky slept with his girlfriend to get back at Adrian. That's like hella toxic. That is the most toxic thing I have ever heard in my life, bro. Y'all cheat on each other to get back at each other. Y'all shouldn't be in a relationship. To me, I think Adrian was a slut. I think she had no self-respect. She slept with everybody, even if they were in a relationship. She slept with Jack. She slept with Jack when he had a girlfriend. She didn't care. She had sex with Ricky when he was with Grace. She didn't care. Even though her and Grace were supposed to be friends and they're supposed to be tight, she still slept with Ricky, not even caring that her and Grace were supposed to be friends. Can't respect a bitch like that. And then she had sex with Henry, Alice's boyfriend, not caring about breaking up a friendship between all three of them. I don't like Adrian. And then she tried to purposely ruin. She got mad at her boyfriend in season 5 for leaving and going to New York because she wanted to stay here and finish college. She tried to use that as a reason to try to get in between Jack and Grace and Adrian, and not Adrian, in between Amy and Ricky. Pretty much she tried to ruin the relationship by trying to let them know all the little dirty secrets and all their dirty laundry. Even though she's not wrong for that, I feel like Grace and Amy definitely should have told their boyfriends, their fiancés, that they're not ready to get married. But for Adrian to deliberately do that out of a grudge and being petty, I don't respect. I definitely, if me personally, I think Ricky was a man whore too. I think Ricky did things just to do them, just like Adrian. They did things just to do them. But unlike Adrian, at least Ricky admitted that he had his fuckboy ways, that he was a womanizer. At least he admitted that he hurt those females and they didn't deserve it. Those girls did not deserve to be with someone who used them as a one-night stand and all the other stuff. Even though if they consented to that, I feel like that's also their problem. If you know that this guy is only using you to get a nut off and using you to get back at his girlfriend, and you agree to have sex with them anyway, you know better than him. So, but I could understand. I still respect Ricky for taking a little bit of accountability, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't use anyone for your own sexual pleasure or for your own revengeful fantasy. That's not right. Unlike Adrian never takes any accountability. She takes zero accountability, and I hate her. Oh, this too, one more thing before I go. The fact that she tries to trap Ben and seduce him into giving her another kid so he can get her pregnant again is just crazy to me. And then she tried to break up Amy and Rick's relationship in season 4 by texting Ricky and telling him that she wants him back. This bitch gets a divorce and instantly wants her ex-boyfriend back. So y'all need to tell me that Adrian is not male-centered. She's the definition of a male-centered female. She is heavily male-centered. I cannot tell you 5 things about Adrian outside of her being smart. Hell, is she? Because when it comes to relationships, she's awful. She has no brains. Then she searches high and low to find her father. Then when she gets her dad, she wants to instantly push him away because he's trying to be a parent. Even though I get it, when a parent abandons you, you don't instantly just let them in with open arms. I get it. I understand it's hard. But Adrian, you cried since day one about wanting a dad and wanting a parent who gives a fuck. Your dad is showing you that he cares and that he's willing to be a parent to you. And you try to push him away because you want to do what you want to do, and it's not happening. You say what you want to say and you do what you want to do, and that's not happening. If you want a real parent, then you're going to listen to what the fuck I have to say. You're going to listen to the motherfucking ground rules of this house. The only reason why Adrian does what she wants to do and say what she wants to say is because her mother's sympathy is not there. And her mom don't show her a good example either. Her mom was having an affair with married men. Enough said. How the fuck is your daughter supposed to respect you or take you seriously when you're having full-blown affairs with grown-ass men? But even if Adrian is seeing those things, does not mean that it's any excuse for what she do to other people. Period, point blank. I don't like Ashley, I don't like Ben, I don't like Adrian. These 3 characters made it very hard to sit through the episode sometimes because they were just so infuriating. But again, this show was just so hard to not pay attention to because there was just so much drama. And me personally, I think this is American Nature is probably one of the most overhated teen drama shows. It's definitely better than some of the shit we've gotten in the last few years. I don't care what y'all say. It's probably the most consistent show that I've ever seen. Everything is very consistent. There's really no plot holes. I mean, there's some storylines that don't matter. But other than that, and honestly, this show doesn't get enough credit for the diversity that it has. Me personally, I cannot stand these 3 characters. They made it very hard to sit through the episode sometimes because they were just very annoying. Outside of that, thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time with another rant. Ciao!